Hey guys, I just wanted to create a little video and talk about today's move. I find it easier to do this than to go ahead and type everything out. So today number one, when we got stopped out yesterday, that proved to be a good thing. Instead of getting trapped in an overnight position, although at least I always hate to get stopped out based on Fed shenanigans is what I like to call them. But with that aside, we saw a potential buy in the area of 675, 685. That got triggered very early in the morning, right around here. At that point, the market had fallen over 700 points in a very short amount of time since early morning yesterday. So we thought that there would be a bounce up to the 10840 to 1090 level. So when the bounce did start to happen, I sent out a note on Twitter and this was around the 10, I believe it was right around the 10,775. I thought, okay, we've got almost 100 points on this. This is finally starting to move. And guys, you can use this kind of information in your own trading when you use stops, or when, if you subscribe to any other trading advisory services. When trying to pick an intraday bottom, and the move starts to look like it's going to happen, if you start to get some gains in that, and it gets to a point where if this thing reverses and starts to go back down to my original entry point, well, then the odds are that what was seen as a bottom really isn't a bottom. It was basically just a temporary blip. So at that point on Twitter, I sent out a note that said, move your stop up to your original buy price. Let's not let this turn into a loss, because this market has just been so volatile. At that point, I really thought that we were going to go up and hit. It was really only another 50, 60 points up to hit our first target, to where we would have been basically, I would recommend exiting all of it at that point in time. And I also said it's up to you guys if you want to take a little bit of profit. I know it seems minuscule to take 100 points on the Dow when we just fell 700 points, but who knew that the market was going to reverse and sell off another 250 points at that point. So that's why I recommended moving the stop up to break even, to protect yourself in the event that it does have some kind of watershed decline. Because if it can't hold 100 points, then there is something seriously wrong with this market. And I do believe that there is something seriously wrong with this market. I don't really claim to predict any kind of crashes or anything, but all I know is that this market is very volatile, and it's not behaving, it's not honoring the levels that it should, and it's just whipsawing all over the place. So this is just a word of caution at this point in time, that the bears are in control now. Before, up until today, it was kind of a guessing game as to who was going to win. So I suspect that we will be focusing on short positions from here on out for a little while. But who knows? We'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. But hopefully, if you got into this stock, you didn't let it turn into a loss. And this kind of strategy really applies to, as I said, all future calls, all calls for any other service that you get. If you get into a trade, whether it's a top or a bottom, well, let's say it's a top. Let's say you pick a top and you get short. If it starts to move down in your favor, a respectable amount, 100 points, 80 points, depending on the market at the time, move your stop loss to break even, so if the market does continue to climb higher, you don't get caught in a bad trade. All right, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.